Yo, so YouTube, it's Mr.BuyTheDip back here with another video. I want to talk to you guys about Nvidia. I want to talk to you about this upcoming week, August 21st, load up, okay? Because if you have money saved up around this time, this is where that money is going to go to work, okay? People who missed out on this bull run, they missed out on AMD, missed out on the SPY being up, right, from 570s to 640s. So I want you to know that this opportunity could be this week, because if we look at the S&P 500, even, you know, this month up 2%, but if you did not buy over here, right, you missed out on a lot of money. S&P 500 went crazy this year. You know, I don't see it. You don't see it up 15%, you know, very often. So also going back to Nvidia, once again, I told you guys, Nvidia is a money making machine. Okay, there's a lot of gaps that we need to fill. We can go from 144 to 157, right? This is a crazy gap, right? And if this gap needs to get filled, y'all should look at this as a buying zone. So if we come knocking down to 170 lows and then we go to 160s, that's a buy, okay? And then if we go from that all the way down to 150s, that's a buy even more, okay? So we need to buy at levels. Remember these key points. If we see a dip, buying at levels, diversifying, okay? Now if you want to diversify with a safer stock or a different industry sector, go ahead and do that, okay? So let's say I got Nvidia, Apple, Microsoft, but I need something else. So look at Walmart. I want y'all to look at Walmart as a good stock. Again, I used to have money into Walmart around here. I want y'all to see this, 150 right here, and I sold at 156. I could have re-entered, but Cash App wouldn't, you know, it didn't allow me to do that. But I would have definitely re-entered with $200 right at $94 a share and took it up to about 100, right? So right there I would have made another 8 to 9% on my money if I took it up to 104, 105, you know, somewhere around there, 7 to 10%. And when we talk about generating income, you can do it with an aggressive approach like Nvidia, or you can do an aggressive approach like AMD. You could do an aggressive approach like a stock like Circle, right? But when we talk about safer investments, you want to diversify with something safer, you can do that as well, okay? The 50-day moving average in sight for Nvidia. Now when we talk about levels, I want to specifically hit on Nvidia, and the 50-day moving average of Nvidia is 131, okay? So if you're a long swing trader and you like to swing trade, you like to day trade, or you like to just short-term invest in general and take profits, 131 is the 50-day moving average, and never say never, okay? When Nvidia went up to 150, I thought it was never going to come back down to 117s, 118s, and I ended up seeing the stock under $100 a share that same year. And look at this, $94 a share is what I seen it on. If you would have just scooped this right here and took it up to like 159, you would have got a nice percent back on your money, okay? So the name of the game is patience, but patience with key levels, right? You don't just want to be patient, wait. You need to know what you're waiting for. So when I look at Nvidia, I'm like, okay, I want to be aggressive on my short term. So if I'm a short term investor, I'm looking at 165, 160. I want to swing this right away in a few days, right? I'm going to put 3,000 in here at 165, because you're going to see a quick move back up to 170, just because a lot of people are going to be buying that level. That's a buying opportunity, right? So when a lot of people step in to buy, that's going to make the stock go up, okay? So that's a minor pullback zone, could act as near term support. Enjoy on a quick dip or pullback. Enjoy and enter. So you need to realize that 160 is that zone where Nvidia bounced off from in July. So if we go here, there's two things that can happen. We can either bounce back up from 167, or we can break 167, okay, and then we can go to 164. So 164, 167, those are the levels that are gonna make you money. And anything below that, 150, 140, 130, right, just buy, cut your position down with diversification in a different stock like Walmart, S&P 500, QQQ, right? But make sure you have a different industry sector for sure. Stocks and crypto to keep in mind, okay? Now when we talk about stocks and cryptos, you have to look at the history, okay? A lot of people are going to say, well, where can you watch this? Go on CNBC. The federal chairman, dude, Jerome Powell, has a speech about federal rate cuts, inflation, basically the cost of living, employment rates, all that stuff that matters in the economy. Okay, you got to know how the money is working in the world. Are people even going to work every day? Like, what is the average income? Stuff like that. Do we need to adjust interest rates? So the S&P 500 has a big, if you look at the S&P 500 around August 21st, and let's say we're down 4%, that should tell you something about what happened on August 21st when Jerome Powell was going to speak up there, right? And the stock market drops, that means uncertainty is there again. Like, a lot of people that were short, they were short-term swinging in a certain stock, they're going to be like, dang, man, he just raised the interest, he just raised the interest rate, or he just, lowered the interest rate. Whatever the sentiment is, the market is going to move that way. Okay, this is important because if he says he will raise interest rates, the cost of living is technically raising. Okay, so it's right. If cost of living is rising, right, it's going up and up and up. If it's rising, people are going to not invest their money into the market. Let me know if that makes sense. So if let's say you're a regular person that likes to invest through their Roth IRA, okay, and you have S&P 500, you have like $80,000 in the S&P 500, okay, all of a sudden, you see that, oh my God, cost of living is going up, things are getting more expensive, and the S&P, instead of being up 2%, it goes down to 626, 620s, okay, and a lot of people, you're like, why are a lot of people selling? Well, Jerome Powell raised interest rates based on unemployment, based on certain demand of products. Grocery stores like Walmart, Kroger, Costco, they have groceries that are higher now. Gas is more. The regular necessities is higher. That is why people won't have extra cash to invest. Investing is not a necessity. You don't need to invest to live. You need food, water, gas, right, to get around and live. So if these things go up, the stock market is going to drop. Okay, if you look at 2024, it's really, really hard to look at it from Cash App. But if you go on TradingView, if you go on Yahoo Finance, I want y'all to look at some key levels. Okay, key levels to look at. So if you go back to August 26th last year, that is when Jerome Powell spoke last year. Okay, similar dates again. We're just 4 days earlier this year, which is kind of better. Okay, so 560 to 537 on the S&P 500. That was the 2024 dip. As y'all can see, compare that 537 price to $620. That is a nice change back on your money. Okay, if you would have just bought this right on the dip last year, August 26th, and forgot about it, you would have been up some, you would have been up some money right now. Now, when we talk about Nvidia, another stock that I'm looking to enter, okay, 126 to 104 last year when this dipped in August, and that is the opportunity that I'm looking for. I don't want this to run up anymore, because if we run up more, we cut into September, and in September, I don't want the stock market to be up in September. I want to be right about my technical analysis. I want to be right about my hours of research and me looking at the chart. So if we look at all of these, what should we gearing up to do? We should load up to buy at levels, diversify, okay? Buying at level as support level or a 50-day moving average, buying at levels with technical analysis, not just buying at a random level because the stock is down. You need to know why you're buying, okay? And then knowing your risk tolerance, as simple as that. That's why I'm telling you guys to load up. Ethereum had dropped as well, and Ethereum after Bitcoin is literally Ethereum. So if you even got 1,000, 500, 200, 100, wait on this pullback from Ethereum to go to at least 3,800, 35, whatever the pullback is. Work with the pullback, okay? I would really, really like to catch Ethereum under $3,000, which I don't know when it's going to happen. But as I'm looking into it, this cycle, it's never going to end. Bitcoin is going to go up 1 month, 5 months later, it's going to be down 20%. You get a lot of panic sells. I'm wondering if the same thing can happen with Ethereum. People who bought in 2021 just broke even with Ethereum. So I need y'all to keep that in mind, okay? 50-day moving average support level. But most importantly, August 21st, Jerome Powell speaks. And when he speaks about interest rates, when he speaks about the economy, how are people doing, what is the cost of living, the most important part, okay? It's called like the monetary policy, something like that. They're going to talk about it, right? The cost of living.